Making my 2XKO Jinx cosplay, Part 1. For the top, I drew rough patterns using templates of my torso that I already had. I initially made these with stretch film and tape and kept them for future projects. Then I made a mock top out of scrap fabric and adjusted the shape on myself. I traced it all back onto paper to get the final pattern. I dyed some fall leather fabric with synthetic red dye, but I think leather dye might have worked better. Also dye the fabric first and cut your pattern later, as the fabric might shrink. Don't ask me how I know. I added lining as well, but it was kind of a nightmare to sew as the lining would move smoothly but the leather would get stuck in the sewing machine, so use a walker foot if you have one. I added a zipper on the back for easier wear. I initially made the frames for the X-shape snap onto the fabric with a back piece, but I didn't like how it made the fabric look snagged, so I glued them on instead. I used fall leather and iron-on interfacing for the straps, but my iron stopped working, so I used a hair straightener instead. I hand sewed the ends to close the loop. For the shoulder pieces, I used faux suede fabric and glued 2mm foam onto the inside to give volume to the trim. I 3D modeled and printed the buckle, made the belt with fall leather and foam, and sewed it onto the top. Finally, added some lines with a Sharpie, and I also added more shading with acrylic paint and a small brush. That's how I made the top, and follow for the rest.